Kia ora everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a flip through for you of a new book in my collection that I have wanted to be showing off for about a month, but have been a little hesitant to do so. As some of you know, my nails are atrocious right now. They always take a hit when things are tough for me. And so I was talking with the lovely group of colorists on the Alien Worlds group challenge thing that Happy Catastrophe put together. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful group. I've made so many new friends thanks to that group. But I mentioned about my nails and how it was putting me off filming, and how when they gave some solution ideas, and I mentioned about dish gloves, and Doodle Robot was like, I dare you to film a flip through with dish gloves. So let's film a flip through with dish gloves. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to flip the book, but hey, we'll try it. Why not? Why not? You know, let's just try it. But yes, today's flip through is this gorgeous, gorgeous colouring book, Antique Dollhouse by Yumiko Tezuka. Now, I have a English version of this. I have also seen, I believe it's Japanese. I've seen it on Etsy and a few places that do Japanese and Korean colouring books. So, yeah, but I happened to discover the English version at a local store, and I hadn't seen anything about the book, but it looked gorgeous, so I impulse bought it, and when it came in, I was like, oh my gosh, and so I did a little bit of research, and that's how I found the other ones. But yeah, you can see the illustrations on the front of this book. It is gorgeously adorable. Now, in terms of size, it is a bit smaller than your Kirby, your Joanna's. This is just like the standard measure for me because most people know the size. So you can see that it is a bit narrower, but it is about the same height. So it's not quite square, but it's very close to being square. Another one that I can give you a comparison is Spooky. So you can see it is bigger than Spooky, but it's not quite as big as Kirby. But it's still a reasonable size. So as I said, I have the English version. There is the ISBN if that helps anyone in searching for it. It is by Zaka Workshop. And yeah, you can see some of the gorgeous illustrations, but let's get into this. So, Antique Dollhouse Colouring, enchanting miniature worlds to colour and explore. Let me make sure I'm actually filming this straight. That might help. So we start off with some gorgeous illustrations, some ideas for colours. Absolutely stunning. I love these little seasonal scenes. I just think they're so stunning. This is not colour palettes that I normally work with. I normally work very bright and vibrant. So I think it'll be really interesting to try and replicate some of this. We've got the miniature sweet shop. And then, of course, we've got a full dollhouse here. And then we actually have a section on colouring techniques. So they talk about how to work with light, how to colour pastries, all sorts of things. So they have a bunch of tips and tricks here. These sort of things are always suggestions because they say start out with the lightest colour. For me, I always start out with the darkest colour. I find it easier to place my shadows and work to light rather than light to dark. I do understand the theory behind this because it's easier to darken, it's harder to lighten. But for me, that's how my brain works. So, find what works for you. And the lecturer is Yumiko Tezuka. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but just so cute. So yeah, this part's on glossy. And then we have an introduction here all about dolls' houses. And this colouring book contains 27 scenes from 3 large dolls' houses and 7 small houses and shops. And then we get into the actual book. So the first part was all on glossy printed paper like you would get in some books. But when we get to this side, I don't know why I'm feeling it. I can't feel it through the gloves. The paper is got quite a bit of thickness to it. It's not watercolor card, but I think if you were to use water media without too much water, you probably could get away with wet media in this book. It's got that sort of thickness of mythographics, but not quite as thick as mythographic, more like Kirby. Like, I can get away with quite a bit in those books, again, as long as you don't go too wet. I think it should be all. So this is a classic house, as you can see. We'll come back to this design in a minute. But on the back side, it has a copy of the image. So you can almost use this like a test palette to quickly work out colours if you wanted to. It's got details about the page, and it's even got a start, finish, and notes page, which I thought was quite cool. So it is technically single-sided as well. So, yeah. But just look at all those gorgeous little details. It's definitely a very detailed book. I almost think like fine liners might be quite good in here too. But yeah, the classic house, 9 rooms for dolls. And then we've got some pages like this where it's a close-up of specific rooms, like the dressing room. Now comes the real test. Can I flip in gloves? The drawing room. So each of these is a zoom in on the rooms of the doll's house. The bedroom. Might need to crack the spine. Which, by the way, this is a sew-in, not a glue bound. So many of my glue bound books are falling apart. I'm a bit rough on my books, apparently. Got the dining room. I'm also really excited about this because my mum is very much into miniatures and has been doing up a doll's house for my niece and nephew at the moment. So I've been looking at a ton of miniatures. I would love to get into miniatures. I even have a miniature kit. I just fiddly and time. And now we've got the kitchen. I love this scene so much. Like, just something about this one is calling to me. I have flipped this, as I said, I've had this book for a month. I couldn't not flip it. I was just so excited to get it because it's like, I don't have anything like this in my collection. And then we have the collection room, which, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous. And yes, it's going to be fiddly, but I like this sort of work, you know? I can see myself spending quite a bit of time on this page. I just love all the cats. And then we've got a page of miniature goods. So cute. Straight Amy. I'm a professional. Can you tell? Yeah, this one I think would be probably a page I might try some wet media on because I feel like putting a bit of a watercolor background that's sort of, you know, lots of different colors bleeding into one another. I might have to look at actually putting gum on the page. I'll have to test if that rips up the book first. Then we've got a actual miniature house here, which, oh, just love it. Room in the lantern. Just something about this book just captures me so intensely. Teapot room. And that's why I wanted to flip it as well, because I haven't seen a lot about this book, and it's gorgeous. I'm just like, I've flipped through it so many times because it's so gorgeous. It's just another one of those books that I just love the artwork on. So we've got Small Room of Nuts. So this is each one represents a season. I might tackle each of these as its own little image, to be honest. We are, of course, heading into fall, autumn here. I know other hemispheres heading into spring. The country house, so we've got a little bit more rustic inspired here. Can I just live in one of these houses? And then we've got a little miniature cottage, which is so cute. Look at the duggies. Look at the duggies. So yeah, the information on the back as well can be quite interesting about it. So, or give you tips. So like in the Life of the Countryside one, for example, this house was designed for relaxing and enjoying nature. There is space to read, write, and rest. If you decide on a colour theme for your house first, it will be easier for you to select colours for your smaller items. So these little tips and tricks flipped throughout the book as well. And then we've got a page of miniature foods, which I like colouring food. I think it's really fun. Ooh, time to crack the spine a bit. Oh! And honestly, miniature foods are so adorable. Again, I've been playing with a doll's house most of the weekend with my mum as we set it up. So I've been playing with a lot of miniatures as well. And then this one. Oh my gosh. The Countryside Garden. It's so cute. And I love the little sheep doll. Reminds me a lot of Sylvanian Families or Calico Critters, I believe they're called in the States. And then we've got the miniature shop. So we've got the sweet store. And oh my goodness, this detail. Oh, that one's going to be, like, I already know it's going to be coloured with polys because I'm going to need that fine tip to get into all those tiny little details. But it's just so pretty. Is that just one page? Nope, I think I've got 2 pages there. I do. And then we have the bookstore, and this reminds me, I've been seeing a lot of like rooms in a book nook or stuff like that, and I'm so tempted to get those miniature kits because again, I love miniatures and I want to do some miniatures. I have some miniature kits, I just legit have not had time or hand capacity to build them, but I've got like a little flower shop that is gorgeous and I definitely want to get on to building that one day. Speaking of a flower shop, this would be such a good spring page. All those gorgeous flowers and oh, just so pretty. And the thing is too is you don't technically have to do backgrounds here because they're like doll's houses. So like it's not like you need to set it as being outdoors or anything. You can just leave it. The knick-knack shop, it's so cute. Such fun little bits as well. It's almost like find the hidden objects that we used to get in books, but actually appropriate. Just like see what you can see, because there's just so much stuff around. And then we've got the rabbit's house. So this is the one I believe that's on the cover. So this is what I mean. You don't technically have to do the background because it's like a doll's house, you know? And we have the art studio. We know we love the art studio. The library. And then we have the study. The dining room. And I know some people are going to be looking at the eyes in these creatures as well. It'll be like, oh my god, she's no eyes. It's creepy. For me, I love the fact that there's no eye in there because I would want to colour that black and then add in highlights. But where the highlights go would depend on where I put my light source. So because there's no pre-done highlights in there, I can choose my light source, and all it is just getting a like Posca or a gel pen and just putting like a big white dot on one side and a little white dot on the other side, depending on where my light source is. So For me, I love the fact that there's no detail in the eyes. I can see it being creepy for some people, which I do get, but also like a lot of time when bunnies are coloured and stuff like that, their eyes are quite solid. So, yeah, I appreciate that little detail, but I can see why that could be creepy for some people. And then we have the House of the Rabbit. So this looks like one that you could actually cut out. And here it is here, because you can actually build a little doll's house, which is very, very cute. Or a little paper house, really. So we've got the sections that you can cut out and you can colour and you can assemble. Oh my gosh. It all together. So each of these is like a little room. So we've got room 1. Oh my gosh. And room 2. And then we've got the characters and the furniture, so you can colour those in, cut them out, and then you just fold them and stand them up like little paper standees, which I thought was very cute as well. I probably won't do that because I don't want to cut them out of the book. And then we have a bit about the author here and the information. So yeah, that was the Antique Doll's House colouring book. I hope you enjoyed this gloved flip through and hopefully discovered a new book that may be going on your wish list. I don't know, but I think it's gorgeous and I am so, so happy to have this in my collection. I don't even know where to start. I love it. I love it so much. And yeah, I just need to figure out where to start in this gorgeous book because there's just so many beautiful images. But thank you so, so much for watching this video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye!